Hi, my name is Laurie, and I struggle with bipolar disorder type 2 and borderline personality disorder. So I want to talk about depression, and I think the best way to do that is to talk about one of my absolute worst days. And, you know, when we are depressed and we feel like our whole entire world is crashing down around us, and we feel so hopeless and helpless, and we have all of these negative thoughts, it's hard to see that the truth is there may be some good. Now, I don't know your situation, I don't know your circumstance, but in my situation, the truth was, yes, I was going through a really hard time. Yes, it was a time, to be depressed, although I don't know if it was to that extent. But I wasn't looking at reality and seeing that, yes, there were some good things because I couldn't feel it. All I felt was depressed. I felt rejected. I felt alone. I felt scared. I felt unloved. I just had every negative emotion you could think of. And my brain was just gray and it was heavy and it was just hard to do anything. I mean, it was just hard to function. And so I remember on probably one of the worst days of my life, I remember I was in Texas and my husband was in the military and he was overseas and I was in our home. And I was so depressed and so distraught, and everybody could see how depressed I had been getting or whatever. Normally when he went overseas, I was fine, but for whatever reason this time I was not handling it well. And so I remember one day I had been depressed for a while. I had gone to a couple of doctors and a therapist and I was trying to get help and I just wasn't doing any better. And I was just so depressed and I thought nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. Nobody wants to be around me. Nobody likes me. I was just the most miserable person you could even imagine. And I remember for whatever reason I thought, well, go in and take a shower, maybe you'll feel better. So I got in the shower and I was still crying and I was crying hysterically and I just was like, I just want to die. I just want to die. I just want this over with. I don't want to be here. And I remember all of a sudden in my mind thinking, but Laurie, nobody in heaven will want you either. Nobody in heaven loves you either. Nobody in heaven likes you either. And I was thinking of people, in my life, like friends or family members that had died. And I was just convinced that they didn't love me either and that they wouldn't want me either. And that there was nowhere for me to go and nothing for me to do. And I just remember that I just kind of slid down the shower and just sat in the bottom of the shower and was just crying hysterically and had no idea what to do. Had no idea what to do. I was so alone in the world. And so I ended up getting out of the shower and putting a towel around me, and about that time the phone rang. Well, it was my dad, and I was absolutely hysterical, and I was crying, and I was telling him everything, and he said to me, Laurie, he said, didn't the doctor prescribe you Xanax or alprazolam? And I said, yes. And he said, while you're on the phone with me, I want you to walk in there and I want you to get one and I want you to take it. I need you to calm down. And so I went in there and I took it and I stayed on the phone with my dad for probably 30 minutes. And I guess I kind of calmed down enough that he thought it was safe for him to hang up the phone. And so the next morning when I got up, there was a knock at the door. And it was like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And it was my parents. It was my mom and dad. They had gotten on a plane and flown to Texas to be with me because they were scared for my life. And they didn't really have the money to do that. Those flights are expensive. And they took a flight to make sure that they got right there, right when they needed to. And I realized that the truth was, I wasn't all alone. The truth was that I did have people that loved me and cared about me. The truth was that I was depressed and I couldn't feel those things. I couldn't feel that love. I couldn't come up with those positive thoughts. I couldn't see or feel the reality that was in front of me. Yes, I was going through a hard time. Yes, I was being rejected. And yes, I felt unloved. And these things were real. But the depression took over, and that's all there was. It was like I had tunnel vision, and I couldn't see that there were other facts in place. That's all there was just the depression and just the heaviness. So if you are feeling that way and you feel like giving up, please, please stop and think, is this really the facts? Is this all there is? Or is there maybe something else and I just can't feel it? But with hard work, going to therapy, taking medication if that's what's needed, finding people to care about you or people that you can care about, like somehow finding a purpose in life. Maybe there's more to it than just what you're feeling, because I know that that's what it was for me. There was more to it than what I was just feeling. I hope this helps someone. Thank you so much for watching.